Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin in studio today. And Brett, you're a big Red Sox fan. And Truck Day yesterday?
Monday. Yes.
Okay, so they're on the road. They must be there by now, I would hope. And spring training coming right up. Initial thoughts on the season. Well, obviously, we got a long way to go. Is this, if we're just talking, what is the ceiling of the season? It's World Series. What's the floor? It's probably ALCS? ALDS? I mean, it's obviously playoffs.
Yeah.
This team is loaded,
yeah,
right?
It's in my mind, it's ALCS or bust.
Okay.
And I think really what it comes down to is that your GM has gotten you the tools, has gone out there and got some of the big players. I'm not a fan of John Farrell. I think anybody that listens to the show knows that, and I think the pieces are there. Now the question becomes, what happens if they struggle out of the gate in April? I mean, that's going to be a big thing. I think the pitching will be good. How do you replace the 130-plus RBI of David Ortiz? That's the ultimate question. What are you getting out of Pablo Sandoval? You shipped Travis Shaw out of town, so basically you're saying it's Pablo's position as of now.
Right.
So there's a lot of questions to ask, but I think going in right now, they're the favorite in the American League.
Okay, you mentioned the offense, and is there any fear that Betts can't repeat that performance of last? I mean, that was pretty incredible. Obviously, you know,
it might have been almost too good for his own good because
he was up
coming into that season. He had a lot of nobody thought he had power, and then he hits 30 home runs and he's just going off with power numbers.
Right.
So I think Red Sox fans need to maybe temper a little bit their expectations of what Mookie's going to give you offensively. One of the other questions I have is Xander Bogaerts. Always starts out hot, but then
and he looked
falls
bad
off
in
towards
the playoffs against the Indians.
Did not look good. Hanley Ramirez, I was one of the few people who thought that he would have a really good position at first base and that he would hit. I think David Ortiz, not only do you lose the RBI, Jeremy, but you lose the leadership.
Oh, yeah, he was a big leader, obviously.
He kept a lot of guys in check.
Yep.
And with him gone, who's the leader of the team now? Some could say Dustin Pedroia, but, I mean, he really hasn't been the go-to guy over the past couple of years.
Yeah, he hasn't been as vocal in that Ortiz role. He definitely is the leader.
Oh, he's vocal, but, I mean, maybe more so taking shots at the press, but he's. I don't see him being a guy where I don't see Hanley Ramirez or Pablo looking up to him as well. He's the end-all, be-all.
Right. Well, it will be interesting to see, you're right, who does on the field and off the field, who becomes the leader of this team. So in the American League East, if you were going to handicap that, like I said, long way to go. Things can happen. Red Sox at the top. Is it the Yankees division to come in second place and maybe get the wild card?
Well, I thought the Yankees were going to play a lot better last year, and that really came back to bite me. But I think right now, I'm just going to say Baltimore.
Yep,
I know Toronto, they got Bautista really cheap after him waiting out free agency, but I think Baltimore, you just can't count him out.
All right, it's going to be an exciting spring training, which starts in a couple, next week, is it? I believe
1 week.
Pitchers and Catchers report next week. So it's going to be an exciting spring training, and we'll have Brett back next week, and we'll keep our baseball talk going as the season comes closer.
YCN Sports Talk Picks of the Week are brought to you by Salt Hill Pub, with locations in Lebanon, Hanover, Newport, and Newberry. Whether you're in the mood for a quick lunch, a great steak, their signature fish and chips, a fresh salad, or the best burger in town, Salt Hill Pub has you covered. And yes, everything on their lunch and dinner menu is available for takeout.
All right, time for our Salt Hill Pub picks. And Brett, this is where we get to put it to the test, see if we both know exactly what we're talking about. Usually it doesn't end well.
No, it doesn't. So it's all for show.
Right, we'll just have some fun with it. All right, so we'll start off. You'll get to take the first pick. Celtics and Kings, they start the big road trip. What can the Celtics do against Sacramento tonight?
Well, of course, it's DeMarcus Cousins versus the Celtics. Actually, I don't know if
he's not playing.
He can't play because he got a technical with 1 second left in the game the other night. But no, DeMarcus Cousins. Kings came off a big win against the Warriors, but I think the Celtics, they will win 8 straight tonight.
Yeah, that is true. And this road trip, we'll get into them a little bit, but it's going to be a big road trip. I'm going to take the Celtics to start off the road trip as well. Okay, then we go on Thursday night. Cavs Thunder, big TNT game. Who you got there?
I think Russell Westbrook right now is the MVP if it was my vote, but I think the Cavs will win this game. The Thunder, it always seems like they have a chance and then they just never can. And of course, LeBron put the dagger in the Wizards the other night with an insane fadeaway three in the court. I'm not a LeBron fan, but that was
well,
pretty
we know
impressive.
that from listening.
But it was pretty impressive to say the least.
And I think it'll be Russell Westbrook MVP. I don't disagree. I'm gonna take the Thunder. I think they can win it at home. Cavs have just kind of showed a little bit of the chinks in the armor. Still the best team in the East, but Thunder win that one. And then we go to Saturday night, Warriors at Thunder. That's going to be another good one. Obviously, we know the underlying plot lines of that one.
And this is why I think the Thunder will win this game against the Warriors. I think there's a lot at stake here. I think whenever the Warriors come into town, you're going to give teams give them their best shot.
Right.
And I think the Thunder win this at home Saturday night, national TV game in conference. It's a big one.
Yeah, it will be a big one. I don't know, maybe the Thunder have a little bit of a hangover a couple nights later, but I'm going to take the Warriors to win that one on the road. Now we go back to the Celtics. They do have a game in between this when they play Portland, but when they go to Utah, I think Utah might be the best team they play on this road trip. Will that be a tripping point for the Celtics?
I think the Portland game is actually going to be where they have a little bit of a problem. But I think the Celtics will beat the Jazz here. And the question is, will Crowder be upset because people cheered for Gordon Hayward?
That's right,
well, this time he's at home, so they can cheer for him. Crowder, sorry.
All right. Well, we're just going to disagree on all of them because I'm going to take the Jazz, and I think that is a test that if that the Trailblazers game maybe trips them up, do they recover? And the Jazz are a good team, so I'll take the Jazz. Saturday, college basketball, Villanova at Xavier, a big test. Big East matchup. Villanova clearly the best team, but they got to go on the road.
Yeah, I'm taking Xavier. It's a hostile environment, and the number one curse, if you will, has been going on all season long. How many number ones have gone down this year? Villanova's a good team, and they'll be a team ready to make a deep run in the tournament, but I think Xavier wins this one on the road. It's not a terrible thing to have a loss during the regular season. It's all about what you do in the tournament.
And Villanova last week, a couple weeks ago, had a tough one against Virginia. They did pull out the victory. I'm going to go on the road and make it a clean sweep, opposite picks for all of us. So the rule is if you go 5-0 and I go 0-5, you don't get invited back next week.
Oh, of course. Always make the host look good. That's rule number one.
All right, thanks to Brett Franklin for joining us. Don't forget, YCN Sports Talk premieres every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching.